What's going on, everybody? My name is Derailious. Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about why Mage is such an absolutely overpowered class in Hypixel Skyblock and why it fundamentally will always be the strongest class in the game. Before we get into this, I really want to say thanks for all the support recently. I'm going to be talking about a lot of builds, a lot of setups that you can use for Mage, so this kind of works as both a commentary and a guide. On that note though, if you're interested, please subscribe and like the video down below. And yeah, let's get right into this. In order to discuss why Mage is so inherently broken in Hypixel Skyblock, we have to first discuss it in other games, notably Windcraft and Monumenta. Monumenta and Windcraft handle Mage in a very similar fashion. Basically, you're allowed to hit enemies from a slightly further range than you could if you were a Berserker or a Warrior. However, you lose some effective health as well as some defense capabilities because of this. Your attacks are mostly offensive and meant to attack. However, obviously if you get cornered, you're probably going to die, and that is your fault for getting into that corner space in the first place. However, Hypixel Skyblock handles Mage very differently, and I would argue it handles Mage similarly to how Archer or Scout is handled in Monumenta. What I mean by that is, in Monumenta, Scouts are by far the best class, at least in my opinion, and I believe a lot of the balance team shares the sentiment with me. The amount of mobility and general ability to kill enemies from a far range, even out of aggro range, makes them the best class in the game by a mile. That is the same thing that is happening in Hypixel Skyblock. Although I wouldn't necessarily call Scouts super unbalanced in Monumenta, just mildly overtuned, they are not the same thing as the Mages in Hypixel Skyblock, where they are just completely broken. Those Endermen over there are aggroed on me but can't do anything about it. I can hit them with one singular bat of the Spirit Scepter with armor that should not be this good outside of dungeons, and I do 100,000 damage. That's pretty much insane. I'm not even using the best mage weapon. And that's another key problem. The weapons that you get in this game are so balanced towards mages that it's literally useless to play any other class. A Berserker will never be able to match Hyperion. An Archer would never be able to match Hyperion. An Archer is only viable because Bone Meringue actually increases the damage that the Hyperion user will be doing. The fact of the matter is, the best weapons, the best armor, and the best abilities in the game are all mage abilities, and that's insane. There is no reason why mages should be able to just put on a blue whale pet and be able to tank 6 hits from a skeleton archer, or a skeleton master rather, doing maximum 50% supposedly effective HP. There is no reason why they should be able to take out enemies from 50 miles away with no repercussions at all to their health or to their defense or to anything. There is no reason why a Berserker shouldn't be doing a third, if not less, of the damage that a Mage is doing at that same level. And that's also going back to the problem of mana scaling, which is absolutely broken in dungeons, by the way. Mana scaling in this game increases the percentage and the amount of damage through the moon, and by a mile, Mage is the best class simply because it uses this mana, which no other classes really have a need for at all other than spamming Aspect of the End. The point that I'm trying to make here is, mages have the benefits of every single class in their class. They have more damage than the Berserker, they have more effective health than a tank, they have the ability to outrange an Archer, because yes, a Spirit Scepter or Hyperion shot can actually outrange a Bone Meringue, which is ridiculous, and should not even be a concept in a game like this. Point I'm trying to make here is, the class is completely and utterly broken, and likely will remain that way until it gets severely nerfed in one capacity or another. And they've already tried nerfing Mage, and that went very poorly with the community. I think that the solution here is not necessarily nerfing Mage, but giving other classes some more viable options. Give Berserkers the ability to tank a little bit more, give tanks the ability to actually be tanks, and give archers the ability to actually do legitimate amounts of damage even if they're not holding a Bone Meringue. Mages are going to be strong as hell no matter what. There isn't really anything you can do to them without pissing off a large part of the community, and rightfully so. We've dealt with the mages being strong for months. Why should it be taken away from us? If you're using Storm Boots, Storm Leggings, a perfect chest piece, and Shadow or Wither Goggles as your helmet, and you're using a Spirit Scepter, you'll be able to do decent damage on floor 7. I'm not necessarily saying you'll be God, because obviously you won't, you need a Hyperion to be that, but the point is you'll be survivable, and you'll definitely be doing a lot better than a lot of the Berserker players. And that's ridiculous. The fact of the matter is nobody even wants a tank on their team anymore. Nobody really cares about having a healer on their team either. I haven't even talked about healer all video. Can we just talk about the fact that the class that's meant to improve the others literally is useless? Because it is. I haven't had a healer in my last like 15 dungeon runs, simply because it's not necessarily required in order to do floor 7 at all. Because if you're a mage, or if you're on a team with 4 mages or more, you won't die. I believe that in the future, there should eventually be a balance patch to fix up a lot of these issues. The fact of the matter is, mages are going to be insanely strong until something is done. However, I don't think anything necessarily is going to be done. Dungeons are nearing a state of completion. I would argue that we're getting a new dungeon set probably within the next 6 months, and mages seem to dominate that one as well. Until we see more weapon options for other classes, I can't in good conscience recommend you play anything other than Mage, because it's just the best option. There is no competition in the slightest. Using a Spirit Scepter, Storm Boots, Storm Leggings, Perfect Chest Piece, and Shadow Goggles, you'll be fine. I recommend obviously upgrading that Spirit Scepter as soon as you can, probably around floor 6 or floor 7, to a Hyperion, because obviously it's the best weapon in the game. But the fact of the matter is, the best weapon in the game should not go to the Mage class, it should go to the Berserker class. It doesn't make logical sense for that to not be the case, but it is. All the way through dungeons, mages have been the strongest. When Floor 4 released and Spirit Scepter came out, there was no reason to play anything other than Mage, and there still isn't. On that note though, I don't want to take up too much of your time. I just wanted to talk about my setup for Mage, which is basically just Storm, Perfect Chest Piece, Shadow Goggles, and Spirit Scepter until I can get my hands on a Hyperion, and also using either Sheep Pet or the Blue Whale Pet on like Legendary, because obviously you can basically tank anything and be God. It's insane. The game's completely broken in that regard. On that note though, don't want to take up too much of your time, as I previously said. Hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful day. Thank you for listening and tuning in to me rant about a class being overpowered in a video game. It really does mean a lot. On that note though, see you all in the next video, and yeah, peace out everybody.